What's up, everyone? Michael Heath with Get Automating. And today we're going to preview document preview. Allow myself to introduce myself. My name is Richie Cunningham, and this is my wife, Oprah.
Get Automating, enhancing humans daily.
Have you seen document preview inside Prompt Builder and Power Automate? It's actually truly remarkable. If you're familiar with it, Prompt Builder being able to pull in data and mash that up with prompts that you create and generate an output. Now, so far that's been in text in JSON, but now we have a new output methodology, and that's document or document preview, getting this output into a templated Word document. Let's check it out. All right, so here is the scenario. I've got an alignment proposal. The consulting people are going to help out Dr. Emmett Brown Enterprises here. So they put together a nice little alignment proposal deck with some information inside. If we scrub through this, we see we've got some team members here. You've got your account executive, your solutions architect. We've got the summary, challenge, opportunity, cost, and timeline here. And we have a strategic approach over discover, design, build, adopt, all the things that really describe the objectives that we're meeting inside what would be a statement of work. So we've got this. It was a PowerPoint. Now it's a PDF. The problem is I need to get that over to a formal statement of work now. So what do the consulting people do? So let's take a look at our statement of work. All right, so here is our output. This is our final destination, and this is the statement of work. So we have our engagement title here, statement of work, our customer name, who's delivering it, some information here that I'm not filling out, some account team information. We've got a header here, and then the meat and potatoes here, which is our executive summary, the different phases and approaches that we'll take. And keep in mind, with the information here, there are no summaries. There is no formatting here. We have an executive summary, very brief here, and some information. And what we're trying to really do here is expedite all the T's and C's and the things that we need to add in, such as summaries and the formatting, and we're going to rely on Prompt Builder to get us there. So here we are, make.powerautomate.com, and we need to get to our prompt section. Now, we could go through the AI Hub, or we can hop on over to this brand spanking new Prompts tab, which maybe it's not new, maybe I just didn't unhide it, but nonetheless, we'll shortcut it. Let's create a new prompt. And remember, if you're struggling with writing this prompt, use Copilot. Copilot will help you write this prompt. I happen to have it all ready to go over here, so we're just going to copy and paste that in, and I'll walk you through it. Review the following alignment proposal. Translate it over to a statement of work. Executive summary should be in 3 to 5 sentences. It's the summary of the project. Emails will be the name of the individual, followed by the consultingpeople.com. And each phase will be 2 to 3 sentence description, followed by the objectives in list format. That's what we're going to go with. So now, first thing we need to do is give it some data. In this case, /, come over here to an image or document. Really cool, by the way. I see some new connections in here. We have Dataverse, but hey, perhaps SharePoint, perhaps some other things are going to be in here, so we don't have to do that within Power Automate. But for now, let's go to the image or document, and we're going to grab our PowerPoint presentation that's been saved out as a PDF. That's going to be our sample data. All right, so we have our instructions, we have our sample data. Now we need to hop over here to the model response. And as I mentioned before, we have our text, we have JSON, but now we have a document preview. So let's click on that. Now, we have to configure this just as if we give it a sample here. We need to give it a sample in the document settings as well. So this is where it's requesting us to upload our document layout or template. If we click on Learn how to define our document layout, it runs through exactly what it's looking for here in terms of creating that form field template. So check that out. This is a great example as well. All right, so we're going to upload the template. And just to preview what that looks like, I'll showcase that real quick here. And so here are the fields: title of engagement, customer name, account executive name, architect name. We've got our header here, and we have our executive summary and each phase: summary, discover, objectives, discover, like so, all following the correct format. Great. So when we select this document, it identifies the fields, and that's what we want. We have our document input sample, our AP that it's scraping, and now we have our template that gives it the context on where to put some of this data. So let's go ahead and test this out. And here we are. We can download the document here. But before we preview the document, let's just check this out. Your document has been generated from the following fields. So check it out. It maps it right away, shows us what that is before we even hop into the document. So the title of engagement, customer name. This is great. These are pretty spot on, right? Summary of services, summary, discover, objectives, discover. We'll match those up later, but I'm liking what I see so far on down the list. Now, the only thing I notice here, and this is a struggle in general, we've got a hyphen in here. It's not a bulleted list. So let's check out what that downloaded document looks like, because I have a feeling here we might have an issue. All right, so here we are. This is the document output, and it's looking pretty good already. I mean, we have the engagement title that came in, we have the customer name, we have the team names with the appropriate emails spliced in. We've got some formatting issues, but that's not the tool's problem. That's our problem in creating the document. We have our customer name as the header. Looks like I screwed up on the spelling of engagement here, which is why it didn't populate. But I love that it grabbed the header and got that information as well. We've got our executive summary here with the appropriate fields in there. And as we scroll down, we start to look at our phases, which is one of the most detailed parts of the statement of work. It does have the hyphens in there, and this is not a bulleted list, so you can clearly see what it did here. We have some bullets that are in the template, but they're not a part of each line item. So I want to play around with that real quick here and see if I can't get this in the format that it needs. All right, so let's modify this last part here. Let's work in each phase will be a 2 to 3 sentence description followed by objectives, which should be separated by a new line. I'm going to toy around with this a little bit more on both the formatting of the document as well as this prompt. Let's see what we get here if I just change that. So better, I don't have the hyphens in there. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, scroll on down here. I did fix my field there, so that's looking good. So we still have just the one bullet there. So maybe perhaps toying around with this template would help as well. I mean, it's not the end of the world if I just return, bump it up and return quickly. I can get there. I don't hate it. I have the content in there. And if I just have to do this, it's not the end of the world. I mean, for me, this is really, really slick. And again, we're just scratching the surface there. Think about how this is going to redefine perhaps that proposal. As we look at a statement of work, sometimes that has other artifacts or details in there that I didn't have in my alignment proposal. Perhaps it's a work order number. Perhaps it's an address or signature. Information that is a part of that statement of work that typically doesn't go into the alignment proposal. But if we can put that in the appendix and just push that through, maybe that's worth it. Maybe we combine this with our entire Power Automate workflow. Might be a SharePoint list, maybe Dataverse, maybe a third-party system that contains the information. And via API or connector, we can bring that information in as a source of information and automatically place that in the statement of work as well. Before we kill this thing, check it out though. Here's my AP. here are the objectives that are within the discover phase, and here we are. Word for word, we've not got any deviation from what is in here, which is important. And let's review our summary. The discover phase involves assessing the current health of the flux capacitor, collecting baseline chrono signature data, reviewing historical travel logs, interviewing key stakeholders, and identifying root causes. I don't necessarily hate the summary, but we also didn't put a whole lot of effort into our prompt engineering either. So that can be tweaked, summarizes it without listing objectives directly. Things like that work really well. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, I guarantee. Wow. And this is in preview. I'm so interested and excited to experiment with the evolution of this tool. Now, the experience, maybe this does move to a mechanism of an agent in Copilot Studio or Copilot Studio Lite. But this technology for me is a huge game changer. Like being able to quickly create a solution like this and now build upon this in a larger Power Automate workflow or even an agent workflow is incredible. And I'm going to say it. Where we're going, Marty, we don't need roads. Until next time, get automating.